Arizona is set to take over McKale North again, but this time in Phoenix. We're breaking down all things Aztec in this one, as well as has March Madness truly lost the sauce?
Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats podcast, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by the fine friends over at Circle K. Fine folks, fine friends, you name it. They are actually our friends, Kevin. We got a chance to hang out with the Circle K folks earlier this week. Unbelievable stuff that they have going on in the work that they do with PHNX Sports. But of course, I am Damon Fairall. He is Kevin Thomas. We are the AZ Wildcats pod, and we are presented by our other presenting sponsor of Branded Bills. Head on over to brandedbills.com and check out the premium custom headwear and apparel in the game, as well as the campus collection, the best Arizona Wildcats headwear in the game. BBPHNX, it'll get you 15% off your first order over at brandedbills.com. Kevin, we got a jam-packed show today. We're going to preview a little bit of Arizona versus San Diego State, and then, as you said, is the NCAA tournament, is it cooked? Is it fried? Is it unk? Is it chopped?
Look, man, we're going to get into that at the end of the show, but I mean, we're losing recipes left and right in this era, Damon. Left and right, we're just losing recipes, and I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that, especially during the holiday season, Damon. I'm not happy about that at all. But I am happy. I am pumped that I will be in attendance tomorrow, as well as Saul Bookman, as well as Corey Williams, for Arizona versus San Diego State. We have what we thought in the preseason was going to be like a pretty interesting matchup. We thought, Arizona on paper is looking to have a really good team this year. San Diego State under Brian Dutcher got into their 5th straight March Madness tournament. And I feel like preseason this matchup was one that we were all looking forward to in terms of, man, no way you go undefeated through all those top 25 teams, and then you got to hit San Diego State, who's well coached, has Magoon Guath and Miles Bird and all these players that have NBA aspirations.
Yeah.
But they've really disappointed to start the year, and there's a variety of reasons for that. Damon, I think, as we look at their schedule, we talked about this on yesterday's show just a little bit, of the 3 losses for 6-3 San Diego State, 6-3 now because they beat Air Force last night, or 2 nights ago, I should say. But lost to Troy in double OT in their 3rd game of the year, got destroyed by Michigan by 40 points, rebounded against Oregon, who I'm not sure is any good at all this year, to be honest with you. They beat them by 17, and then they lose to Baylor by 10. Now after that, it's been Utah Valley W, Lamar W, Air Force W. They have played nobody since the last time they played somebody and got beat. This could be another situation.
They've played nobody since the last time they played somebody.
And I mean, did he cook or did he cook? I mean, I kind of cooked there. But yeah, this is a team in San Diego State in the final year of the Mountain West. I think still stands to have a successful year, but they will not be successful against the Arizona Wildcats. What is your read on tomorrow night's game, Damon? I know that you will be at a wedding of some sort, potentially.
I will be at a wedding of some sort, and potentially. Well, that's a good word for it, Kevin. But I think that this is the classic Arizona Tommy Lloyd versus a team that just can't really go toe-to-toe, can't really match up, right? Where I think that Arizona is going to look at San Diego State being 111th in the country in average height. They're going to look at their rebounding numbers, which are pretty unimpressive, and they're going to say, this is a team that we can just dominate. We can go physically go out there and dominate them with Tobe Awaka, who, as you put on your Twitter today, like legitimately has a case for being one of the best collegiate rebounders in the history of college basketball at this point. Mo Krivas, who just continues to ascend and get better and better, it feels like. and I know we all have more confidence by each passing game and what he's been able to accomplish. I just think that those guys are going to be too much to handle for San Diego State. I feel like we go in there, we out-rebound them by 20. It looks like every Arizona basketball game has essentially all season long, and it's another Arizona Wildcats W.
I think the same way, Damon. I think this is a game where on the post game with Saul and Corey, I'm probably talking about another game where Arizona, like you said, out-rebounded their opponent by 20. I'm probably talking about another game where Arizona probably outscores their opponent by 30 or 40 points in the paint, right? Because that is what you're talking about when we look at this San Diego State squad, a team that is 22nd percentile in percentage of their points in the paint. And if you want to go, just straight up points in the paint per game, they're 54th percentile. So it's not like they're strong either way. You cut it in terms of scoring in the paint. They're not, like you said, they're not the biggest team. If you go on KenPom and look at their most recent or most frequent lineups over the last 5 games, it only features one player over 6'10", and that's Magoon Guath, who, to his credit, is an incredible defender. Last season's Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, but had that PCL injury, knee surgery in April, and missed the first 2 games of this season with that recovery. Since then, has only been playing in short spurts of minutes, and he's been showing flashes of the Defensive Player of the Year that he was before the injury, but it takes time. If anyone knows this, guys, it's us with Mo Krivas. We understand, he wasn't not necessarily a Defensive Player of the Year caliber guy before the injury, but we understand having a guy who has shown flashes of being good in inconsistent minutes, and then he gets injured, and it's just like this whole thing where ramping back up can take quite some time. So I do not expect Magoon Guath to be the player that we thought he could be in this game, like preseason, for example, especially because of the way he's been playing lately. Incredibly inconsistent. I know he balled out in his debut this season. Really, I was reading an article. I read a bunch of articles this morning, so apologies for not remembering which one this is specifically from. But they were talking about how his performance in that first game of the year, right? That first game of the year that he played, I'm pulling up his game log. It was against Troy, where he put up 20 points. He had 2 steals, 3 blocks, 7 boards, even went 2 for 2 from 3, 5 for 5 from the field. And if you're a San Diego State Aztec fan, you're thinking, is Magoon Guath back? Is he just gonna go from PCL injury and recovery straight into what he was doing before? And I think that kind of bumped expectations up in that fan base for Magoon Guath. And then since then, he's been, inconsistent with his stats and production and his minutes as well. Only playing 9 against Baylor, 16 against UVU, 21 against Air Force, 22 against Oregon. So to your point, Damon, Arizona should be able to completely dominate the Aztecs front line. This should not even be a conversation. If Arizona didn't even have Mo Krivas, I would still say the same thing, right? I just think that if Arizona, barring them completely coming out and shooting themselves in the foot, this should be a dominant victory for the Arizona Wildcats. And hopefully Duke loses to Texas Tech, and we don't even got to have that conversation anymore, because they were talking about that on McHale Madness. And I, for one, do not want to hear from any more Blue Devils about any sort of resume when they have not played really anybody.
They really never do.
No.
Have you noticed that? Other than the Arizona games that they've played the last couple of seasons, obviously the home and home where both the road teams ended up on top, which is pretty wild when you consider the environments that you're going into in those games. But it's it feels like Duke just continually goes undefeated in the ACC because no one can step up to what their level is. North Carolina under Hubert Davis is never going to be the premier program that it was with Roy Williams, and so it just feels like it's just Duke's conference to win to lose every single year, and they never do. Is anyone else tired of it? Because I gotta imagine Duke fans are tired of the regular season at this point.
I'd be tired of it as well if I was them. But
we experienced it in the Pac-12, and I think we were all kind of tired of it. I think we all collectively agree that the change to the Big 12 has been a one for a positive one in the history books, at least, just from a basketball standpoint, pure basketball standpoint. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to hear Duke over Arizona at all. And as you've noted on them, they feel very like one-man showy. And we have a special guest who just walked into the studio right now.
We have a special guest with a special guest.
Nice.
That's a fact.
Hell
Saul
yeah.
Bookman in the studio with his little as well.
Oh,
right,
sweet.
from Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. So shout out to them as well. But if we're talking about, do we want to get Saul in here? Saul, do you want to?
Sure. Where do you want me to go?
I mean, you can just, I don't know. You can pop over here behind me. You can pop over there next to Damon. We can get it. We can get it going. Getting Saul Bookman in on the action. Saul, we were kind of just referencing the conversation y'all were having last night on McHale Madness a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so adorable, man. But we were referencing the conversation that you guys were having on McHale Madness about Duke's resume.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Arizona, if they're able to get this done. And Duke, we were saying we hope they lose to Texas Tech so that we can just dead that conversation and never have to have it, at least until March. But for our listeners, Saul, what was your initial read on San Diego State, this game coming up?
I mean, it should be a cakewalk. San Diego State's too inconsistent to really do anything dominant against Arizona. 3-point shooting, they can be hit or miss. BJ Davis is a decent player, but it's not anything to be worried about. As Corey said, it should be a dog walking.
Yeah,
so.
It definitely should be. Saul, do you have any thoughts for our listeners as your surprise guest today?
No. Listen, I miss you guys. This is my new studio debut.
Wow.
I've never been in here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's kind of
crazy.
Cool. Also, shout out to Big Brothers Big Sisters as always, and my little is over here. Michael, do you want to get on camera? Yeah, hell yeah.
What's up,
Let's
Mike?
go.
Get in there.
Take
Get
this
in
chair
there.
right here.
Come
Take
on
over the
here.
pod. Take over the pod.
Yeah, let's go. So, I'm not going to put him on the spot with Arizona knowledge, but this is my little brother from Big Brothers Big Sisters, Michael, in the house. First time taking a look around the studio. What do you think so far? Talking to the mic right here.
Looks really nice. I like the wall art.
Yeah, the wall art's pretty dope. It is pretty dope. And these guys are pretty dope. They do a fantastic job. So
My mother gives a super chat that says, Saul, you are wonderful.
Oh, I appreciate that. Mama Thomas always repping, and I appreciate that. But miss you guys. Thank you all for supporting these guys in the show. And remember, if you have an opportunity to support Big Brothers Big Sisters, make sure you do, because this is quite the experience, and it's been pretty special so far. And he's a phenomenal young man doing great things in 8th grade. So appreciate you all and continue to support. And if you could be a mentor, you should do it.
What Saul said. And Damon and I are going to continue previewing this upcoming matchup with San Diego State after this break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Leave a like, drink your water, and don't go anywhere. We already know that Arizona, Phoenix included, is one of the most slept on sports cities in America. And we're about to take it up a whole nother notch March 5th through 8th, because for the first time ever in history, NASCAR and NTT IndyCar series are racing during the same weekend at the Phoenix Raceway. And if you were listening to this podcast last year, you know how pumped me and Damon get about that Phoenix Raceway. So make sure for March 5th through March 8th to tap in and experience the energy that can really only be fully understood if you are there in person. You can watch the 2025 Cup Series champion Kyle Larson return to the track where he won it all just a couple months prior. The 2026 Spring NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway is making history with NASCAR and NTT IndyCar series sharing the same track on the same day. So make sure March 5th through March 8th to secure your seats now at the link in our description. Camping options are available. Camp all week long, baby, in the RV camping for you and your crew. So make sure to get out there and enjoy a race like no other. Link in our description.
Can't wait for that, Kevin. That's going to be so much damn fun. And of course, I can't wait for every time that I need a little caffeine pick-me-up, because there's only one spot that I'm going to, and that's Circle K. It's America's thirst stop for a reason, Kevin. And of course, like I said, I'm there for the energy drink deals, the coffee deals, and all of the above. But of course, they also have just their conventional Polar Pops. If you just need a soda, if you need a can of pop, it's the place to go for sure. But of course, we all know that Circle K has the cheapest gas out there in the greater Arizona area, right?
Yes.
You go there, you get an Inner Circle membership. And you get 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups with that free membership, Kevin. Then every time that you fill up after that, you'll save 3 cents off per gallon until you reach premium status, and you save 5 cents off per gallon every single time at the pump. All you have to do is plug in your phone number It's that simple. It's that easy. And like I said, it is a free app to download. So go download that Inner Circle or join the Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. All you do is plug in that phone number, and then you will be an Inner Circle Rewards member. The savings are right in front of you. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. What's up, guys? Welcome back on into the AZ Wildcats podcast. Appreciate Saul Bookman for popping on, giving a quick little shout out to Big Brothers Big Sisters of America and the great work they have going on there. And of course, Michael making his on-camera debut. I know that's a little nerve-wracking. That was pretty impressive stuff. So shout out Michael, shout out Saul, shout out Big Brothers Big Sisters. And
shout out to the chat for behaving, by the way.
Definitely. If you guys can support in any way, shape, or form to Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, please do so. It's a great cause. So shout out all of that. And should we get back into this San Diego State preview, Kevin? Yeah,
I was gonna say though, Damon. I know we have a lot of preview, but that Michael interaction, it threw me back. It took me back to my day. Back in my day, youngster back in St. Louis,
young and walking around.
Just a little young and walking around St. Louis. We had an internship class. I think it was like my freshman year of high school. So you get into high school, they're doing like home ec. They're trying to get you interested in school, trying to get you interested in stuff you might do after school. So we did a internship course, and I picked like Frank Cusimano, who's like a well-known local radio sports guy in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And my job was to go sit in, watch him do his thing, kind of like literally what Michael just did now. And when I sat down, they were doing like their pre-show meeting in the morning, and I vividly remember this. They were talking. It was the night after Devin Booker scorched my Celtics in Boston for like 70, right?
Yeah.
And that was the topic because Devin Booker's
70-point game.
Yes, because Devin Booker has a lot of Midwest ties and something with his dad living in Missouri at the time or something like that.
Pretty sure he also lost.
Pretty sure he did as well.
But we'll put that in parentheses.
Yes, parenthetically. But it was really cool because I'm sitting there and they're trying to think like, who was that teammate he had a couple years ago? I think he played for the Suns. And I said Tyler Ennis. And they were like, yeah, Tyler Ennis. This kid knows ball. And I was like, check. And then we're getting in, they're doing the show, and it gets to the ad read, and they threw it to me, and they were like, Kevin likes Arby's. What do you think about Arby's? And I was like, cool fries and good sandwiches. They got the meat or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And now I get to do this podcast with you, Damon. So maybe like Tyler Warden says, in 5 years, we're looking at a PHNX intern and Michael. Who knows?
I'm trying to think of my debut. I think if anyone remembers, if there's any Tucson people here in the chat, Bobby Rich in the morning, I somewhat know, like we have mutuals through my mom's coworker and friend, and I went on his radio show, which is one of the more popular shows in Tucson, and I think they asked me like Gen Z questions. Like I think that was like legit. Like
we got a youngster on air.
Like, no, literally, like, it was like a segment. And it was like definitely a skewed older crowd, and they were like, so like, what do you do in your free time, young man? Like that kind of stuff.
What are the kids doing these days?
Yeah. It was. I genuinely think that was my debut on any sort of some sort of like programming. But yeah, you're right, Tyler Warden. John Jay and Rich is for sure the goat of the morning talk show. And what was going on there? They moved up, Kevin. They started in Tucson. They moved up to Phoenix, wow. And then they started getting broadcasted in like L.A. and San Diego and stuff. Crazy. Yeah. From Tucson to the rest of the world.
From
like
Tucson
this
to the world.
Podcast.
Literally like this podcast in many ways. And I think, getting back into the actual topic at hand, San Diego State, there was a question in the chat from Chris Tricks MC 8680 who says, thoughts on LZ Harrington from SDSU? Now, LZ Harrington, 6'5", freshman. Currently, I didn't pull up his per game averages, which seems backwards.
I'll grab them for you, Kevin.
Thank you. But I was looking at his college basketball analytics page, and if you're looking at like what he's strong at in terms of percentiles and what he's strong at in terms of like play style, he's ranks 99th percentile in 3-point percentage. Now, Damon, please tell me if that is on a even mildly high volume, because 73.3% tells me he cannot be shooting a lot of threes.
He shoots 1.7 threes per game.
There we go.
You're right. It's not the highest of volume, but it's still incredibly impressive.
Yes, it is. Like I said, he does not rank very high in any like rebounding percentiles. He does not rank very highly in defensive win shares per 40, nor does he rank highly in free throw percent. So I think you're looking at a player who right now, looking at his statistical profile, he looks like a freshman to me. right? Like, he looks like he can score the ball a little bit, use his 6'5" frame. But in terms of actually being able to impact winning at a super high level, he's a freshman. So I think he's talented, and I am excited to see him in this game against Arizona. I have not gotten to see a lot of him so far this year. I've mostly got to see like Miles Bird, Magoon Guath, like a lot of those guys tape, but not a lot on LZ Harrington. So I'm pumped to get to see him against Arizona, but I'm not really too worried about him in terms of my perspective as a Wildcat. Are you seeing anything different when you look at his per game averages?
I mean, just looking at his game log, he's had 4 double-digit scoring outings this season in 9 games here, Kevin. And that is against Long Beach State, 13. That was a 30-point blowout win for SDSU in that one. Against Michigan, he scored 15, and he was 6 of 9 from the field in that game. Granted, that was a blowout. That was the most minutes he's played all season long as well. It probably was, involved as him being a freshman, getting extended run at the end of the game, albeit an impressive performance. Then he scored 12 against Oregon in a 17-point win over Oregon, which that's probably in a game that truly mattered, like his best game of the season, right? And then he goes 3 for 3 from 3 and scores 12 points against Baylor. So he's performed better in some of these more high-profile games, Kevin. Michigan, Oregon, Baylor, being 3 of his 4 double-digit scoring games this season. I mean, impressive for a freshman, no doubt about it. It'll be interesting to see how he matches up against a team that has the physicality and the size of an Arizona. But definitely an interesting player when you look at what he's done so far this season.
Putting up 15 points on good efficiency against that Michigan team is nothing to shake a stick at. I know he really didn't do much on the stats side of things outside of the 15 points, but that is impressive nonetheless. And we have another question from the chat. The David Rosen, if you know, he is always on the social media streets. He wants to know, do we think there is a big Koa Peat game incoming?
Man, it's hard to say. I feel like
it is hard.
This is the type of team that, if we see Koa Peat in him having a big game, I think it's going to have to come in the first half. Because I really do feel like Arizona is going to somewhat coast in the second half in this one. And we've all seen that, I feel like Koa Peat is maybe the most volatile player from a game-to-game basis in terms of that coasting, right? Like when Arizona needs buckets against physical teams that are, really, really good rosters, I feel like that's when you see the best Koa Peat. And when Arizona is really in control, I feel like Koa Peat kind of defers a little bit. He realizes he doesn't have to go, play his A game in those games necessarily. And so I don't. It's also in Phoenix, in front of everybody in his family, of which, Kevin, I think you've said there's about 30. There's 30 Peats running around. You went to the state championship game.
I didn't get a head count, but it was a small classroom full. Yes.
There was an army of Peats.
Yes, a militia.
For sure, a small militia of Peats. I think that, that could be a factor. Maybe he wants to put on a bit of a show in Phoenix, in his hometown. So that's the one thing where I'm like, maybe he does go a little bit harder early in the game. I could see a first half flurry from Koa Peat.
First half flurry, getting in your commentator bag there. I like that.
First half flurry from one Koa Peat.
We'll be right back after this break, and we're going to be talking about Koa Peat's first half flurry. The freshman put up 15 on the Aztecs. I do think that this could be a big game for Koa Peat. I do. I mean, like you said, Damon, it's hard to predict this kind of stuff with a guy like Koa Peat who seems to have that professional mentality of I'm just going to show up and do my job. Whatever happens statistically. Did we get the win? That's the only stat that matters to me. And I think that if you're talking about games where he's succeeded the most, at least scoring this year, you're talking Auburn, where he shot 8 for 11, put up 18 points. You're talking Connecticut, where he put up 16 and shot 7 for 14. Probably could have had 20 in that one. Florida, obviously, when he put up 30 in that game. Utah Tech, I mean, we can include that one. He put up 18. I think this is a game where he can get 15 plus for certain. Honestly, I would love to know what David Rosen's definition of a big Koa Peat game is, because I think that is kind of what hinges on this. Is a big Koa Peat game 15 plus points, 5 plus boards, 3 plus assists on good efficiency, or is that just what we expect from Koa Peat? And is a big Koa Peat game the Florida game, where he puts up 37 and 5? Or is it, that Auburn game where he puts up 18, 5, and 4? So I think defining it is a little difficult for a guy like Koa Peat. Like for Brayden Burries, I think we know exactly what a big Brayden Burries game looks like. It looks like 20-plus points. It looks like 3 or 4+ more rebounds. And you know what I mean, on good efficiency. With Koa Peat, I think it's just harder to say. But I do think that a big Koa Peat game is incoming. And at the worst, we're going to get a good Koa Peat game.
I like Koa Peat to score double digits in the first half and then maybe like half of that in the second half. And it ends up being a pretty normal Koa Peat game, but like maybe he's at like 16, you know what I mean? But like it was like 12 points in the first half where it could have been more if Arizona was playing an opponent that matched their caliber a little bit more. So David Rosen was wondering what the spread is. It's 14.5 with Bet365, Kevin. So
wow. Despite
San Diego State being a very respectable team, almost a borderline top 50 Ken Palm team, 14.5 point spread just indicates, truly how good Arizona is, I feel like.
I think so too.
And just the levels to which that we're talking about here. Like there's a big difference between a borderline tournament team and a team that is, clearly a top 5 team and top 3 team in the country.
Usually I am a betting man, but as you know, Damon, I've been betting a lot less recently.
I know, and that's why I've noticed our friendship has deteriorated as well, and I don't know if there's like a converse or an inverse effect on that.
A direct correlation.
Yeah, it's like when we were betting together, we were here, and recently it just feels like it's just kind of been declining a little bit. Something to chew
That's
on.
hilarious. Something to monitor throughout the course of this podcast history. But if I were to bet on this game, I would definitely be hammering Arizona spread. This is a game where last night on Mikhail Madness in the chat, I was saying, give me Arizona by like almost 30 in this game. And that might sound, shocking is the wrong word, but it might sound like very bold to be like Arizona is going to get a 30-point W over, a top 50 team in the country and a well-coached team by Brian Dutcher. But they just don't have the pieces to compete with a team like Arizona for the same reason that they got dubbed by 40 in Michigan, as Tyler Warden tries to fact check me about my "if I was a betting man" statement. But you know what? I don't know. We can get into that in another podcast. But I do think that this is a game where Arizona can really run away with it as it goes on. As the game grows longer, I think Arizona is going to only wear down the front court more in a position where they only have advantages to start the game. And this could get ugly in the second half, like you alluded to, Damon. We do have a lot of questions in the chat today. Thank you, chat, for popping in these questions. We will continue to answer them, so keep asking them. I know we have
for sure.
We have another.
Karish had an interesting little nugget for us here on Brayden Burries and LZ Harrington. Kevin it says Brayden Burries and LZ Harrington are friends. And that Brayden gave him belt to ass in high school, and let's see if he can do it again. That's really interesting. LZ Harrington from Long Beach, California. Of course, that checks out with where Brayden Burries is from, and just being in that Southern California hotbed. So we got a bit of a connection as well.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a connection, and Chris also wanted to know Brayden Burries' predictions for this game, and I did not know that he had a friend on the other side that he is used to putting belt to, as you said. Honestly, where are you at with Brayden Burries in this one? Because I'm almost inclined to just ride the hot hand and predict a big Brayden Burries game.
I almost feel better about that than I do about a Koa Peat game, because I feel like Brayden Burries is the type of player where like we saw against Auburn and Alabama, where when he's feeling it and there's the pressure's off and Arizona's up, he's just going up there and just being like bucket after bucket after bucket. You know what I mean? Whereas Koa Peat, we've seen him when Arizona gets up, he definitely takes a little bit more of a back seat, right? Like he lets other people kind of captain the ship for a little bit. So I just think by nature of the game state and how I think Arizona is going to be up in this one, that leads to Brayden Burries having more of an opportunity to get those points on the board. So I think Brayden Burries is has the potential to, if he comes out and has a good start to the game, really have a strong finish.
I think to support what you're saying, I don't quite know where I fall on it, but to support what you're saying with Brayden Burries maybe having a bigger game than Koa Peat, Brayden Burries is not necessarily sharing as much production as Koa Peat is. Right, like from the front court, especially the way Arizona's front court is set to eat in this game, I expect like Awaka and Krivas to go off. Mm-hmm. Right, I also expect Koa Peat to go off, but that is splitting the pie 3 ways. Right, at least in the front court. In the back court, you're splitting the pie 2 ways with Burries and Bradley, and we know Jaden Bradley is cool to to let Brayden Burries run the offense, right? As long as that is successful, right? If it's not successful, he will take back over. But I like that take out of you, Damon. Brayden Burries to have a better game than Koa Peat in this SDSU matchup, which we will continue to preview on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Leave a like, drink your water, don't go anywhere. You know what's coming. It's an ad break. Stick around. Damon, it is that time of the year. It is the holiday season. It is currently Friday, December 19th. That means we are 6 days, less than 6 full days away from Christmas. And if you know me, I have yet to do my Christmas shopping. And if you are like me and you are, looking for a last minute lifesaver, Aura Frames is the place to go. And if you're also, if we're just stepbrothers, if we just become best friends, if you're just like me and you're doing your gift searching by looking up, number one rated this, best gift for this person, right? If you look up number one rated frame, you're going to get Aura Frames, because not only are they, rated highly by all your favorite rating like Wirecutter, all those great publications, it's just the best gift to give because it's a gift that can be changed over time. It's not fixed. You can change photos, upload photos for free, even videos to your Aura frame, and all you need is the Aura app and a connection to Wi-Fi. You can keep adding anywhere, anytime. It's really a beautiful, personal gift that you can give to somebody, whether it's a brother, sister, mom, dad, partner, uncle, your dog. If you want to just get all the dog photos in an Aura frame and think about your pupper, that is, yes, Damon. If you just want to get photos of Damon and put it in an Aura frame for the holidays, get in the holiday spirit, for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named number one by Wirecutter, by using this promo code PHNX at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code PHNX. This deal is exclusive to our listeners only of this great PHNX company. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply.
If you have been a listener of this podcast for a while, you know, and you have your calendars marked for the Smirnoff Trucks event at State Farm Stadium, December 21st, coming up this Sunday. Cardinals versus Falcons, the game to go to in the NFL this weekend. And Smirnoff is going to be out there celebrating it with their spicy tamarind flavor, Kevin. And let me tell you, it truly is special. You're talking Aura. How about Smirnoff vodka, right? There's an aura behind that. And on December 21st, like I said, Smirnoff is giving fans the chance to try their exciting signature serves featuring that spicy tamarind flavor that I'm talking up so much. Go check out that spicy tamarind truck out there at the tailgates before the game. So if you're cheering on the Cardinals in person against the Atlanta Falcons on December 21st, don't forget to stop by and see our friends at the Smirnoff truck and check out that flavor for yourself.
Shout out to Smirnoff, shout out to Aura Frame, shout out to Branded Bills for sponsoring this episode of the AZ Wildcats podcast. Shout out to everybody in the chat for tapping in. Mr. Tyler Warden feeling a little worse for wear today. I get it.
Mr. Tyler Warden, Kevin, who, may I add, recently just got engaged. So congratulations to Tyler Warden
I guess
on
ring
his
her.
recent engagement. Yeah, ring her.
Yeah.
Ring him later down the line when they pick a date.
Yeah. No, seriously, though, congratulations to Mr. Tyler Warden. Beautiful photos were released on social media as well. So, yes, shout out to Tyler for that. Damon, the chat is on fire today. The chat is doing our job for us. Usually pre-show, Damon and I are like, what are we going to talk about? Today, the chat said, we got you. Because there is a very interesting conversation going on here but Kobe brought up Brayden Burries being close to the team lead in scoring. And as Damon brought up during the ad break, he's only 5 points away from the total lead in scoring for this year of Arizona basketball. Krish, after that, said Brayden is, in my opinion, still the best scorer on this team if Bradley allows him to do so. We'll really start seeing the chemistry once Brayden gets more comfortable. And as you and I were discussing a little bit during that break, Damon, is Brayden Burries the most skilled scorer on this year's roster? Why or why not, in your opinion?
I think skilled, yes. That would be, I think, and that's going to be where me and you have this conversation. Like, when I think skilled scorer, I think of deepest bag almost. I think of who has the ability to score in the most different ways that a team like wouldn't be able to combat, right, when they're truly on. And, I just from a 3-level scoring standpoint, I feel like he's the most talented guy we got on this roster, and that's why I feel that Brayden Burries would probably be the most talented scorer, Kevin. But you have someone else in mind.
I do, and I would like to bring one Jaden Bradley to the table. As Mr. Tyler Warden says, Jaden is the best scorer. Brayden is the best shooter. I think the reason I would give Jaden Bradley the nod, although it's not by like a wide margin, like this is definitely a conversation that can be had, and I don't think Damon's crazy for saying, I don't think anyone's crazy for saying Brayden Burries is the most skilled scorer. Hey, watch out. Calm down, Damon. Don't pull out the 9. But look, I do think Jaden Bradley, if we're talking about what makes a skilled scorer, I think you have the baseline obvious stuff of like the skills, right? Shooting, dribbling, driving, like can you score at all 3 levels? That's that stuff that is clear out there. You could see it every single time they play. What impresses me most about Jaden Bradley's bag, as you said, is the amount of counters he has in his bag, right? And I think that this is not a knock on Brayden Burries. He's a freshman. He has way less reps doing this than Jaden Bradley does, who has seen so many defenses, so many elite defenses, so many junk defenses, so many bad defenses with an elite on-ball defender. So many, like he's seen it all. He's seen it all. And I think the counters that he has to what a defense throws at him allows him to make that shot against UConn at the end. It allows him to be that guy down the stretch that feels unstoppable. That's a different
conversation, though, for me. Not to cut you off, but like I definitely think that, like, and I agree with David Rosen putting here in the chat. I think JB is the guy you have take the last shot, but that's because he's been there before. He's shown that he shows up in big moments consistently. But I do understand what you're saying. Like in the way that those shots are being taken are also extremely impressive. He's driving in, he's stopping on a dime, on pulling the ball back, taking a slight fadeaway mid-range jumper, not like cash, right? Like it looks really impressive while he does it.
It does, and I think like that for me is why I first thought of Jaden Bradley as being the most skilled scorer, because I know he's not the shooter that Brayden Burries is, but I think where he lacks in shooting, he makes up for in consistency and reliability with his skills, right? And I think that, again, we're just having a fun conversation. I'm not trying to belittle Brayden Burries' game in any way, but we did see him struggle versus teams to start his career. Now, obviously, he's a freshman, guys. I'm not trying to blame him for that. But in the context of this conversation of who is the most skilled scorer on the roster, I think the reason we trust JB in those clutch moments, like you said, is one, because he's been there before and seen it. But also, two, because he has the skills to execute, right? Like Chad Baker-Mazara, he's old as hell. He's seen it all too. He's been in every situation too. But he's not the most skilled guy ever. Like he's just not. If you throw him at the end of the game, I'm not necessarily trusting Chad Baker-Mazara to be like the clutch gene guy, because I don't think he has the skills to do it. He has the experience, but I don't think he has the skills, right? Like JB has the experience and the skills. So it's splitting hairs, but that is why I think I would give it to JB. I think he has the counters that Brayden Burries does not yet have, despite Burries having a more versatile, deeper bag, so to speak.
As W puts here in the chat, fate of the universe on the line, Kevin. Who do you got?
Give me Iguodala.
Aliens pointing the death beam on Earth. Who do you got?
I want Iguodala.
Jaden Bradley or Brayden Burries?
Give me Jaden Bradley.
I agree, but I do just think that, like, here's, I guess, from my perspective, when we talk about skilled scorer, and the way Kobe kind of put it in the chat also was along the lines of how I was thinking, just deepest bag and most like highest potential scoring ability. I just think that when Burries does what he did against Alabama, for example, no one else on the roster can do that. He has the scoring barrages that no one else can put together. Jaden Bradley, I think, is very consistent. Like he does it over the course of an entire basketball game. And especially late in basketball games when you need him most to like find these shots and use his creative shot making ability. But I just think that Brayden Burries has the best chance to like have like a little like a kill shot of his own where he goes on a 10-0 run or something close to it.
He's done it in back-to-back games
because he hits 2 threes and then he goes in and hits a layup in transition, and that's 8 points all of a sudden, right? And that breaks the game open. And I feel like that's kind of where my mind goes to, is just like this dude has the like it's the easiest for him to just put up a barrage of points at any given time. But it really is an interesting conversation. And what's even more interesting is Neither of us mentioned Koa Peat, and he has the most points scored on the entire team.
Yeah.
Whether that's points per game, whether that's points cumulative, like Koa Peat is at the top, and neither of us is talking about him. No one in the chat is really talking about him. Like, I think Koa Peat's game is so much more predicated on, being physical, transition opportunities, forcing free throws, forcing, teams into fouling you. But he also belongs in the conversation as well, just with how, dominant he really can be at times. But truly, the point of this entire conversation, Kevin, is I look at the cumulative points scored. Koa Peat, 143. Jaden Bradley, 139. Brayden Burries, 138. Anthony Del Orso, 110. Mo Krivas, 107.
Wow.
Tobe Awaka, 92. So he's almost right there as well in triple digits.
Wow.
Like there's just so many players on this team that score a decent amount of points per game. And it's why Arizona's so good, is because this depth is unmatched across the entire country. Arizona has more players that are like, starting and slash star caliber players than any other team.
That is a really nice little nugget there out of you, Damon, because the balance on this team is real. You mentioned people not bringing up Koa Peat. Now, I know this is a bit to a lesser extent, but Ivan Karchenkov, like, can he throw his hat in the ring there? Like, if we're talking about just pure skills.
He's at 82 points scored. He's not too far off of that triple-digit number as well.
He can shoot it a little bit. We know he has a midi. We know he can finish around the rim. We know he can do it in transition. We know he can do it in a set offense. He can do it in a flowing offense. Like, the level of skill on this Arizona basketball team is unbelievable. And I think it's a reason that many of us are incredibly confident that this can be the year that Arizona finally breaks past the Sweet 16, maybe even, dare I say, past the Elite Eight into the Final Four. Who knows? But yeah, the balance on this team is crazy. Koa Peat not getting a mention by us in that conversation is, I will say, crazy. And as Krish puts it here in the chat, the potential of this team is still not even close to reaching its ceiling for a wide variety of reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's still so much yet to be developed. I think it was Tommy Lloyd, and I think it was after the most recent game in the post-game presser, where he said that this team is still in a growing phase. This team is still in like a building phase. And you might see them number one. You might see them undefeated. You might see Koa Peat. You might see Brayden Burries going crazy and think, well, they've made it. This is the time that they batten down the hatches and you just try to maintain for the rest of the year. No, there is a lot left to be developed. Matias Krivas has still like so much more that he could do. And that's a positive thing. I'm saying he's grown so much, and yet there is still more for him to do. He only notched his first career triple-double last time out. You think that's the last time we're getting a triple-double out of Mo Krivas? He has to continue to work on that.
Double-double.
Oh, my bad. Did I say the triple-double?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm trying to manifest stuff right there. But yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. Steals, blocks, points, rebounds, quadruple-double.
I was thinking passes.
He's dishing it.
Just throwing outlets, Kevin Love style, down the court.
Yeah, no. But this team does have a lot of room to grow. And as David says, it feels like, if not this year, when? Because you have so many pieces. You have the blue chip freshmen. You have the blue chip veterans. You have the foreign guys that contribute on the margins. You have the rim protection. You have the overall defensive acumen. There's so much to love about this Arizona Wildcats basketball team, and they're not done yet. So I'm pumped for that. I'm pumped by that conversation. I'm pumped for tomorrow. The Aztecs are going down, Damon. The Aztecs are going down.
I think Arizona gets the job done in a big way, Kevin. And, of course, we'll be getting you covered for that pregame show live 30 minutes prior to the opening tip-off, which is at?
I think 7:30. Let me double-check. Arizona versus SDSU. That game is taking place, not the spread.
Yeah, 7:30, it looks like.
Ooh.
Right?
8:30.
8:30 tip-off.
That's a late one.
Yikes.
Wow.
Well, that's Kevin's problem. Damon will not be there, but I will be helping get you covered pregame for this one. So 8 p.m., we'll be doing our pregame show. Make sure that you are here live on YouTube for that one, PHNX Sports on YouTube. And then, of course, we will be doing postgame coverage, and it will be a little McHale Madness takeover of the AZ Wildcats pod. We got Kevin Thomas, we got Corey Williams, we got Saul Bookman in the building, and it should be a fantastic show. So make sure that you guys are locked in for our pregame and our postgame coverage of San Diego State tomorrow on a Saturday. But in the meantime, Kevin, we got our final ad break here to hit on the AZ Wildcats pod, and then we're going to talk about has college basketball and most importantly March Madness lost its juice? Kevin's brought something to the table for us to discuss. We'll be getting into it right after our final ad break here on the AZ Wildcats pod.
During the holiday season, sometimes you just want to get away, right? Whether it be to an exclusive resort or whether you want to see a comedy show, just get some laughs during the holiday season. You don't got to go far. With our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, have a staycation during the holidays with our friends at Gila River. Whether you're partial to Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, V-Kiva, or Santan Mountain, Gila River has it all for you. You can achieve legendary status, whether it be at any one of their 4,500 slots and live table games. It is truly like a play place for me and Damon when we go into Gila River. We're like, oh my God, do we hit the slots? Do we hit the roulette? Do we hit the blackjack table? Do we go to the live events, like the live podcast tapings? The steakhouse? Do you want to get an espresso martini at the steakhouse, or do you just want to get a beer with the boys downstairs at many of their bar options? The food, drink, gambling options, the entertainment options are truly endless. I believe they also have like spas and things like that for the resort side of things. So you do you. When you're at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playathila.com for more details and keep your eyes peeled. You never know when you're going to see me or Damon stumbling around the live slots floor trying to get some money.
Love Gila River Resorts and Casinos. It's like having Vegas in your backyard without all the downsides of Vegas, Kevin. But of course, I also have to tell you about another company that we are absolutely in love with, and you see us rocking it every day on this pod. It's Branded Bills. Head on over to brandedbills.com and check out that campus collection for yourself. Of course, Kevin and I both have a couple U of A lids on. I got the one with the state outline in the background. Kevin just has a little bit more basic with the tricolor golf rope across the bill there. Unbelievable stuff with Branded Bills going on. You can get custom apparel if you got a small business or something that you want to promote. It's the only place to be getting custom headwear. But of course, I got to get back to that campus collection. Special limited edition campus collection stuff going on at the bookstore in Tucson. Of course, on brandedbills.com. You can check out some of those more specialized options as well. I know Kevin and I are absolutely obsessed with Branded Bills, and it's because not only is it the most stylish hat, but it is by far the most comfortable hats that we've ever owned as well. It's like you don't even feel it when you're wearing a Branded Bills hat on your head.
That's a fact.
And it's so lightweight, it's so comfortable, and we love Branded Bills truly. Head on over to brandedbills.com and use promo code of BBPHNX. Get 15% off your first order. That is BBPHNX for 15% off.
Before we get into has the Final Four lost all its sauce, I wanted to continue praising Arizona basketball and their development this year just a little bit, because I saw a tweet from one Evan Mia, out there on the Twitter sphere of best rebounders by height. Now, this chart, you have your height on the x-axis and projected offensive and rebound or defensive rebound percent on the y-axis. And if you see all the way up there at the top by the title is one Tobe Awaka, by far the best projected offensive and defensive rebound percent. And honestly, by far not the tallest guy on this chart. You got guys like Ademara, Mo Krivas over there in that right quadrant as well. Just how amazing is Tobe Awaka? Like I put that out earlier on Twitter, Damon. He's, for the eye test, one of the best rebounders I've ever seen in basketball, right? And to put that into perspective, we have that tweet there in the top left that says Tobe Awaka as a rebounder falls 8th in the top 10 players in rebounding skill per Evan Maya since 2009, in line with guys like Kenneth Fareed, Oscar Shibwe, and Zach Edey, higher than Zach Edey. Just how incredible is Tobe Awaka, and why is he like our sweet, sweet Hulk?
He's the best, man. He's just the type of player that, like, I'm not saying that, I know Evan Maya is a national outlet and they're obviously giving him some attention, but he's just the type of player that is going to be so much more appreciated by the fans of the team that watch him consistently than he is from a national perspective. And I bet you when Tobe Awaka, when they watched Tobe Awaka's tape, Kevin, from Tennessee, when Tommy Lloyd and his staff turned that on, and they were watching the tape and they saw that he entered the transfer portal and they realized what they could get him for, like the NIL package or the lack thereof that they could get Tobe Awaka for, they were probably over the moon.
Yeah.
Like being like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This dude just changed the game for us with how good he is as a rebounder. And he really would of any team almost with how good he is as a rebounder. Like he's almost a walking rebounding advantage. It's actually unbelievable. And so yeah, I mean it's great to see him getting some of that national love. But we've been saying this for a while. We've been saying Tobe Awaka was the guy from a rebounding standpoint in college ball for better whole offseason, better part of all of last year. Like this dude he's just a special rebounder. He really is.
I'm trying to find out how many rebounds per minute Tobe Awaka averages because it's got to be crazy. Because there are some games where he averages about a rebound a minute. Like against Utah Tech, he had 18 rebounds in 19 minutes played. Against UC, again, I'll use the Denver game. 16 rebounds, 20 minutes played. 15 rebounds against Alabama, 23 minutes played. Like, I love watching Tobe Awaka play, and he's one of those guys that you get caught up in the Koa Peat, you get caught up in the Jaden Bradley, you get caught up in the Brayden Burries, and then you look back on the season and you're like, how incredible was it to get to watch Tobe Awaka? We had the same experience last year to a bit of a different extent when we're talking about Caleb Love, KJ Lewis, Vasar, Bradley all year. And yes, we're talking about Awaka as well. But we get to that Oregon game, and Awaka is the reason you walk out of there with a win. Flat out. Like, you do not win that game without Tobe Awaka. Yeah. And so, yeah, I saw that stuff today, those stats, and I just wanted to give him some love on today's pod because he has been doing the dirty work for Arizona off the bench, might I add, as well.
102 rebounds in 196 minutes for Tobe Awaka, which is .52 per game.
That was a dime.
Saul Bookman throwing a card frisbee style at us live on the show, and that was one of the best tosses I've ever seen.
Love you guys.
Love you too, Saul.
Much love.
Diego, drinks?
Absolutely.
Yes, of course, drinks in San Diego.
You wear a red line T-shirt. Drinks on me and Kevin. That was the deal we made.
Okay. That is true. If we see any red line turnover sword shirts, we're buying a drink.
Good thing I bought 6 for the people I'm going with.
Me and Damon are going broke. That's what I just heard.
Perfect. Yes. But of course, that offer stands to all of those in the chat as well. If you guys head out to San Diego, we see your red line T-shirt. We're gonna buy you a beer. That is a damn fact. Kevin and I might be running up the old bank account, but that's okay. Yeah. We'll do it in the name of these T-shirts. That means enough for us. And no, Max, not a Fascinations.
Oh, see, I was going to say if you don't drink, like, why not? I'll get you a Fascinations gift card. Just don't tell me what you did with it, and we're good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Kobe got his red line shirt, and he is hyped about it. So everybody run those red line shirt numbers up. But Kevin, .52 rebounds per minute played for Tobe Awaka this year. So he's averaging over a half a rebound per minute in this season, which is it's got to lead the country.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
it's got to lead the country. With him playing like 20 minutes a game, there's just no other way that it doesn't, in fact, lead the country. So yeah, Tobe Awaka is he's the man. He's the man. He's you know what I would say about him, Kevin, just to truly break it down to the
brass tacks.
Yeah, I Tobe Awaka is the type of player that wins you a championship.
Yeah,
he's not the flashiest. He's not going to be on the opening scene of the championship DVD. They're not going to have Koa Peat, like with all the cameras around him, or I'm sorry, not Koa. They are going to have Koa Peat doing it. They're not going to have Tobe Awaka with all the cameras around him, like ripping his jersey off after the game, Koa Peat style. It's going to be a situation where, you look back on it and you just remember all the little ways he helped you win basketball games. And I feel like you need dogs like that who are going to play hard defense, bring it on both ends, be extremely physical, use their fouls, grab rebounds, and be a walking rebounding margin, positive plus sign every single game that he steps on a court. Like, that is a championship college basketball player. And we're blessed to have a player like that, in a two-man rotation at our center spot.
Crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, like you said, like he's starting almost anywhere else in the country, and at Arizona, he's coming off the bench. It is unbelievable times that we live in. We got another question here from the chat, another question from Krish. Thank you for all your questions today. Where do you guys believe, looking ahead, Koa Peat and Brayden Burries go in the draft 1 through 20 range? Koa Peat, that's a top 10 pick.
Yep. That's what I was going to say.
I think Brayden Burries.
Back end of the top 10, I think, for Koa Peat. Like 7th, 8th, something like that.
That is exactly where Koa Peat is marked right now in Bleacher Report's latest mock, 7 to the Hornets. Now, Brayden Burries.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's bad. It's not bad.
No! Anywhere but Charlotte! Charlotte and Washington. Our sweet boy. He can't go to either of those two teams. Kevin, it means everything.
Man. Yeah, man. Also, shout out to Tyler Warden. Just bought his turnover tee right now, the red line tee. Bought it. Shout out to you, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Posted on Twitter at PHNX Wildcats. We're going to retweet it, and we really appreciate the purchase. It is an unbelievable t-shirt. Kevin just got his in yesterday, wore it on yesterday's show. Quality is great in person, so hopefully it is everything that you could imagine. But that red line t-shirt is the perfect gift.
It is. And talking about Brayden Burries in the NBA mock drafts, I feel like this is like you can write in Sharpie Koa Peat top 10 pick, right? I think that is safe, barring any unforeseen things going forward, like his performance just falling off the face of the earth. That's a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
Brayden Burries, on the other hand, I think like was a player preseason. You're looking at like 15 to 20 range probably, right? But the way he started the year, I think it probably gives people a little bit, they pump the brakes a little bit, like putting him high in the mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been consistent on this for certain with Brayden Burries. He is a player that regardless of the peaks and valleys of his season, if he peaks high enough at the right time, he could find himself like in that 15-20 range, like really, really close to the lottery, but not quite close.
Dalen Terry range.
Yeah, like Dalen Terry range, because right now he's projected to go to Minnesota at 23. That's what I was. It's
interesting you say that. I was just about to say, I think for me, if I had to pick for Burries, 22, 23, 24, low 20s, low to mid 20s, that was kind of along the lines of what I was thinking. So, I mean, I promise I didn't cheat, but I mean, maybe I just know ball that well. I don't know.
I think you do just know ball that well, to be honest with you. I'm interested to see like where a guy like Mo Krivas ends up going. I think that's like the interesting thing. Like, does he end up going?
He come back?
He could. I think he could. But I think the way he's playing, like he's playing well enough to get some sniffs. No,
he is. But let me throw this at you as well. Tobe Awaka not on next year's roster. All of a sudden, we just got a little bit more NIL in the way of a center position, potentially to have one Mo Krivas return.
That's actually a great point.
It's more money than probably being a second round pick, I would assume.
Probably.
Or it's around there at least. So, you could argue development is the better option for you. Who knows? But I think that we could definitely see Mo Krivas return next year. But that's definitely a conversation for a bit of another day. But yeah, I mean, I like Mo Krivas, and I definitely think his NBA potential has taken a rise in this season. But ideally, I hope he comes back next season. We'll find out. I think Aristode for sure, and then Karchenkov, like he's the wild card, right? Like
I don't think he comes back unless like you said with Krivas with the NIL thing. Unless you give him like a huge bag, which is possible. I just feel like he's shown so many skills that like it's kind of like a Carter Bryant thing in a way, where it's like, well, we've seen enough. Like we know he's NBA quality, we know he's professional, like we know he can play at this level. Let's just take a flyer on him, develop him. In 3 years, he'll be a rotate. Like you can see the plan there with Karchenkov.
That's
I think
the concern, yeah.
A little easier than you can with a Krivas or an Aristode. I think you're looking at Krivas, Aristode, but I don't know if Karchenkov comes back, to be honest with you. But we do have, unless you guys have any more questions in the chat, let them fly. But we do have some Final Four notes to talk about because I'm upset. Damn it, I'm upset.
Can I just say real quick on the previous topic? Yeah. All I wanted to close it out with is looking at who we have to replace and flashing that out right now. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of work to do from a roster standpoint going into next season. Yeah, Awaka gone, Peat gone. Burries gone, ADO gone. That's 4 right there. 4 rotation.
Bradley.
4 of your and Bradley gone. Yeah, that's 5 of your 8 in your rotation. And then we have Krivas and Karchenkov as wild cards. And then Aristode technically probably is still a wild card as well. Like you can't feel safe about any of those 8 guys necessarily coming back. But
it's a good spot to be in.
Those back. I mean, it means you have a great team.
Yeah.
But it also means that pressure is somewhat on in 2025, 2026 to have some postseason success.
I agree.
It's scary. That's all I'm saying. It's definitely a little bit more like it's a little bit of a more pressurized conversation, no doubt.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Damon, I have been in a good mood all day. Very jovial day for me today. It's been a good day. a good Friday, fired up Friday, ahead of a game day. And then I checked Twitter. Critical error, massive mistake almost every time checking Twitter when you're having a good day. I saw the March Madness Final Four account announce their new logo for the 2027 Final Four. And damn it, it's so gross. Look at this. What is that? Genuinely, what is that? It has nothing to do with Detroit. It has no aura. It has no chemistry. It's got no character. I hate this. I hate it so much. And when you're like, oh, well, what would they do for Detroit? What would they even be able to do?
It says 313 right there, Kevin. That's got to be the Detroit area code. What do you mean they didn't do anything for Detroit?
Well, that's fine, because in 2009, if you look at the bottom left, they had a fire.
Is that a tire?
That's a tire with like the Detroit Red Wings flame kind of vibe flying off of it.
What's crazy is before you showed this graphic here, Kevin, I was going to say how hard would it have been to have made the logo that you just made into a tire? It felt like it was such an obvious right in front of your face thing. Obviously, maybe tire's been done before, but they could figure out something better than whatever the hell they did.
A vinyl album? It's Detroit, guys. Motown Records, guys.
Damn, look at that 97 logo.
That 97 logo is fire.
That's special.
The 96 logo is fire. The 05 logo is fire. The 08 logo is insane. The San Antonio one with the cowboy hat over the Final Four, that goes hard.
A bigger version. My eyes aren't working the same way that they used to, Kevin.
It is in our Slack if you wanted to get it.
Ooh, that New Mexico one in 83 is insane.
Oh, it is insane. 1982 goes hard as well. Yeah, chat, what is the best logo? David Rosen.
82 goes hard. 90 goes hard with the mountain and over the basketball. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. 97 is a great one. I like the way that they do it really works the way that they did the blue, yellow for some reason, which that's hard to make happen. Some of these early 2000s ones are not bad. They have some soul to them. How about that St. Louis one, Kevin?
It's fire. Man,
with
it's
the
fire.
Arch, bro?
Yeah, it is fire. Arizona, ends up making it that far, but doesn't end up completing the deal that year. And I was talking to Noah about this pre-show. I was like, man, how awesome would it have been if Arizona had won a national championship in my home city at some point?
Cool.
That would have been insane for me in my one life personally.
That's like me with Indianapolis.
It is.
It's my city. Everyone knows it's my city. I've gone there 3 times in the last year and a half, and I can't wait to get out there again because guess where the Final Four is, Kevin?
This upcoming year? I mean, it's in Indy. You're home.
Coincidence?
No.
That 97 also was in Indy?
No, yeah, definitely not.
I think not.
Definitely not. But yeah, I just wanted to come on today and destroy this logo because it is garbage.
That's
we should
trash.
throw it in the trash. Why is it copper on the out? Maybe auto industry? It doesn't make any sense. It's totally devoid of any character, any uniqueness, any quality that, as Tyler Warden said, you can't look at this outside of reading the middle word and maybe knowing the area code and be like, that's Detroit. But meanwhile, you look at every single one of these for the most part, and you could, if they removed the actual text that said where it is, you could guess practically, I would say 70% of them. And that's being conservative in my opinion. We're losing recipes, chat. Email your local congressman. Email your mayor. Email your local governor, your city hall people. Get them to fix the Detroit Final Four logo because it is garbage, and I want the old stuff back. I want the OG stuff back.
I'm looking at the one that they did for Indy this year.
It's not bad.
It's okay. It's better.
Fine.
It's better. That's for sure. I'll tell you that much. I feel like there's some sort of like car, racing flag thing that they could have done with some checkers or something. The women's logo in Phoenix this year is pretty sweet.
Yes,
I'll give them. I'll say that. Arizona got the job done with our specialized logo, so maybe it's just time for everyone else to catch up a little bit.
And maybe it's time we listen to Burries Muse, who says logo is trash, but if we win it all, I'll convince myself it's the best logo ever. And I will also add that if Arizona does win the 2027 men's Final Four in Detroit, you know that Damon and I are going to be rocking a whole lot of merchandise with this garbage logo on it because our team won. That's just how it goes.
Probably, but. Kevin, before we get out of here, did you want a quick little update on what's going on with our neighbors, our rivals?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that real quick. I'm down.
Looks
for
like
that.
Kenny's staying.
Yeah, it does.
Looks like Kenny's staying. Used hashtag SunDevil for life today, which has been the first time in 2 weeks that he's done that. And it feels like momentum's building for this extension for Kenny to get done. As we kind of outlined yesterday, would have been funny. We would have made some jokes, but ultimately, like I think you can make the argument that this is a good thing for the state of Arizona and their football, in football in the state as a whole, as well as pushing the Arizona Wildcats to be a competent football team, to not rest on their laurels when they have 6 wins in a season and expect more out of your football program. So we'll see what if this finally gets done here for Kenny. But I know Tyler Warden, who coaches at Shap, where Kenny went to high school and where he, of course, started his coaching career, is pretty hyped up about it. Heard his thoughts on the AZ12 show the other day about it. So, says, honestly, love that Kenny's staying. Even if ASU is better, it's better for the state and the rivalry. It forces Arizona to stay on its toes. And that's the other aspect of it, is the rivalry was more fun than it's been in a decade, because it was actually 2 decent football teams that were out there on the field against one another, despite Sam Levitt and whether or not he was playing. And I think that this helps in the way of making that be a more consistent trait that happens in the Territorial Cup rivalry of, like, it's not just going to be 2 just like despicable football teams lining up against one another.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Tyler Warden said, like it's big for the Valley. I think we talked about this on yesterday's show as well. Like, it's just good for football in the state of Arizona to have 2 teams at a high level competing every year for not only games on the field, but recruits off the field as well. It's good for Arizona as a state. I add selfishly that I do wish that he was an Ann Arbor man now. I wish he was a Michigan man, but it does not look that way. We can maybe talk about this for 30 seconds, because we did talk about it a little bit yesterday. Like, just because, and I'm not just saying this because I'm an Arizona Wildcat guy. I'm not just trying to get Kenny to, like, get out of here by any means. But what I am saying is, like, do we think that this is not it though? Like,
I mean, it's not it. People assuredly always have interest in him as long as he's at ASU and as long as he continues to be successful, because frankly, he's elevating a program that has not seen success in 50 years. And there's a reason that people are treating him as such a highly valued asset. It's because that's not normal at ASU, right? That's not their normal level.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's always, I feel like that he's always going to have interest in other teams, but in a year, if he declines Penn State, Michigan, and then say DeBoer goes to Michigan and then Bama calls Kenny and he turns them down as well, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Precisely.
How could you have any confidence that he would ever leave at that point?
Yeah.
That's 3 of the best 10 football programs in the country, assuredly offering more money. Like, that's where I don't know. I feel like this locks him in for a very, very, the very foreseeable future here, at least if he does in fact not take this Michigan job. But crazy stuff, man. Wild. Apparently Kenny went to a holiday party, ASU athletics holiday party today.
During the day is weird, man.
It is a little weird.
No.
I mean, that's honestly, it's classic corporate America. That's why they haven't been doing ish for a week, Kevin. They took off last Friday, proverbially, and then all week they've just been going through the motions. Meanwhile, for people that work in sports, it's like, oh, it's the holidays? Your life's about to be hell. Welcome to hell. And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it does look like Kenny's staying. I would think that I would be inclined to think that he's staying anyway, but I think it's interesting that people are, like, really latching onto the Sun Devil for life thing, when it's like, it kind of would defeat the whole purpose of the hashtag if Kenny himself was, like, just because he would at some point leave, the whole spirit of the hashtag is that if you leave, you're still a Sun Devil for life. No? I don't know. I get that it's the first time he's used it in 17 days, but I don't think it's the craziest thing that...
No, I'm with you. I think that that's more the part that's intentional for me. It's not that, like, if he was just using the hashtag, I wouldn't think anything. I think it's the fact that he stopped using the hashtag. because he was clearly leveraging more money out of ASU.
Yeah.
And he knew he was like, I gotta chill on this for a little bit. And then brought it back out once he realized he felt a little bit more confident that he was going to be staying. But I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is insane to monitor. And I'm not gonna lie, like it's cool for ASU fans, but it sucks a little bit to see like their guy being like, I'm staying against all odds.
It does.
And then our guy was like, I have the perfect team in place to make a playoff run next year and win the Big 12. And I will throw that in the garbage to go to Washington, who lost every starter on their team. Washington was down like 38 of their 42 starters, or not 42 starters. They each start 22 people. Yeah. They were down like 20 of their 22 starters. And it was just like, it was just insane. It felt like a crazy decision, but I mean, that's what happens when you have a guy, I guess, who truly loves his school, loves his university, and is an alum. But ultimately, I think you could spin this in a good thing from an Arizona perspective as well.
I agree with you, Damon. Do we got anything else for today's show before we get on out of here? Oh, no. I wanted to give congrats to Becky Burke on her 100th career victory.
Hell yeah.
First time Arizona's put up, on the women's basketball side, over 100 points since 2022. So it's very fitting that it came in Coach's 100th career win. So shout out to the women's team as well, getting it done. We'll have to have Erica on very soon to talk more women's basketball, Damon. Yes. I feel like it's been too long. So maybe next week we'll get Erica Day on the pod talking women's hoop, catching us up on the latest. And hopefully she's okay. I know Erica's been going through the ringer of life recently. So hopefully Erica gets to this podcast in one piece and can talk a little women's hoops with us next week.
Car accident gang, me and Erica.
She got bit by a dog too.
Oof.
Yeah. Crazy week, or I guess 2 weeks, or however long it's been. But shout out to Erica, shout out to Becky Burke, shout out to the women's basketball team, getting dubs yet again.
Shout outs all the way around. Shout out my guy Kevin Thomas for another great week of pods. We'll be, of course, live tomorrow, pregame, postgame coverage, Arizona versus San Diego State. 30 minutes prior to tip-off at 8 p.m. will be our pregame show, 10 minutes after the final buzzer sounds. For postgame, Saul Bookman, Corey Williams, Kevin Thomas. They'll have you covered on the postgame show of the AZ Wildcats podcast. I will be off this weekend, be back on a Monday. Appreciate everybody for watching this show. Chat's been super active today. Run up those red line shirts. Get your turnover sword shirt today. Get it hopefully in time before that Holiday Bowl in just a mere couple weeks now, Kevin. We got a Holiday Bowl. It's on a Friday, is it not? So, yeah, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from this exact day, we will be in San Diego watching Arizona take on SMU. So get those orders in soon. Get them in now. And hopefully they're here in time. Of course, follow me at Damon Dog. That's AWG. Follow him at Kevo Post. That's KEVOPOSTS. And follow us at PHNX_Wildcats on all socials, except for TikTok, where we're at AZ Wildcats Pod. Appreciate everybody for watching this show. Please run up the likes on this video. A little light in the likes department, but that's all right. Let's run it up. Let's get to 50 likes on this show, Kevin.
Let's do it.
That's our goal for today. And of course, we'll catch you tomorrow on our pregame show coverage. Everyone, appreciate you. Have a good start to your weekend, and we'll catch you next time on the AZ Wildcats Pod. Until then, peace out. Bear down.
And go Cats tomorrow night. Mikhail Madness, we taking over.
We all silly like the mayor.